my word. Ladies and gentlemen, there you heard it. And with the technical director, Rolly Ray Lipinge, who incredibly is looking quite young today. He's behind the camera, his stress levels are through the roof, even though he arm wrestles in like 15 minutes. But never mind, we got it there. We are live, even though I don't do live. And I'm joined by the White Oak, Paul Lynn, who will also be arm wrestling today. And we're both honored to be sat with this fella, legend Ron Bath.
Yes, sir.
Just behind the camera, Ray walked on the mat to open the doors. A little bit of an in-joke. If he does it again, I'll choke him to death. Hope everybody's well at home. We're going to talk about some... don't you dare do that, Ray. He was going to do it.
No, don't worry.
We're still live. You worried me. When you run up and... You're my technical director. I've got faith in you. Oh, Paul.
He did it again.
You're going to have to step in here, Paul. Don't take that from him, Paul.
He almost did it too.
Oh, yeah, we don't like... Even Ron's upset at you. Yeah. Ron is like the kindest, most plastic guy I know. He is going to put...
There's two levels.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the pre-show for East versus West 14. Few technical issues here, not only with the doors, but we want to talk about some exciting matches. And there are so many. We can't possibly, in a 30-minute show, get through all of these. But I wanted to pick out a few, and starting with one which really went off yesterday in the first part of the press conference. I'm sure you guys all watched it at home. Hunter Knopfs and Doug Early. So two guys, one of them at one end of the spectrum, the other one totally different end. He's coming in, he's hot-blooded, he showed it yesterday. Who have you got, Rob? Who do you see here?
Do you pick any winners to any match? There's so much that can be played at table. I mean, it's anybody's day. I mean, we got Doug, who has more experience. He's been in big shows more often, and he's always seems to bring it when it's time to shine.
Yes, sir.
Hunter, he's young. He's aggressive. I know his teammates. He has a very good team he works out with, and he wants nothing more. Plus, he has a lot of positive attitude. Do I have a winner in this one? I got to probably,
Paul, you know this very well. They're on the rise. They're on a tear right now.
Yeah.
Particularly Hunter Knopfs.
Yeah.
Had a lot of success, a lot of momentum coming into this match, but he's given away, as Ron says, a lot of experience to Doug Early.
Yeah.
How do you see this?
Well, he makes that experience up with confidence. Like, you can tell Hunter, like, the way he carries himself, that's not false bravado. He genuinely believes in himself, which I think is a huge variable. Along with what Ron said, Doug has for many years been a very professional athlete and has brought the best of himself to all these high-level competitions. He's a known quantity. To me, there's that X factor of how is Hunter going to flourish or not on this stage with the pressure and the lights and everything else. So I think Doug has the edge and experience for sure. He's definitely the bigger man. Hunter's coming up from 154 where he's gone to the 176, and now I believe he's weighing like 185, 190 right now. So I think Doug being the bigger man coming down, that's also a slight favorite to him. But if Hunter gets turned in that wrist-to-wrist, deep, tight, coiled hook, that could be a bad day.
So I wanted to, for our next match, to go with someone you know very well, someone you're very, very close to. Paul Tolbert.
Yes.
Left-hand specialist.
Yes.
Big man at the weight.
Yep.
And yet he is facing a fella who is an absolute terror around North America. And a guy with real pedigree at international level that people don't know a great deal about.
Right.
Sadirov. This is a guy who's a multiple WAF world champion. Who wins this match? So similar, these guys.
Well, Brez is like a legend over here.
Slide. Paul was naked. Yeah, for like 5 minutes naked. And it's a hot day, but don't worry about that. That's Anna. Anna. Don't worry, Anna. Everybody heard you. Even the thousands of people watching at home heard you. Oh, well.
It's all right, you might too. More than that.
So one quick question. We're going to deviate for a second with you guys. Quick question to you, Ron. Anna Gronlund, Paul Lynn, 3 rounds. Who comes out? Locked door, cage.
Oh, isn't it? We're talking.
Not that I doubt you.
U.S. Olympic women's boxing now.
I don't know. if she has the attitude she has at times around here, Paul's in trouble.
In trouble. So let's move on.
And Paul's too much of a gentleman. So
Now, Paul, I hate to do this to you, mate, but we were talking about Paul Tolbert. This is a guy you know very well. Can you just run through that again for us, please?
Yeah. Paul Tolbert's been a good friend and training partner for quite some time, and the best left arm that we have, probably pound for pound in this country. He can compete and win classes at the highest level up to 242 with no problem. He's gone and won all those WAL hammers, and still he's very, very understated, which I think is like a point of personal annoyance for Paul.
Sure.
And Brez Shadrakian is that Eastern European guy that's come to the United States and just wiped the floor with everybody. A lot of big names up well above his weight class that he has handled relatively with ease. And I think he's even gotten better at his time here in the United States. But for me, knowing Paul Talbot and training with him years back, and his approach to the sport, how good he was before he was this strong, how dominant he was before he was this strong, I tend to believe that this version of Paul Talbot is the best one that we have ever seen at any weight. And it's going to be the biggest, strongest gym strength-wise and table strength-wise that we've ever seen.
Do you think he's got the ability to finish the match quite quickly? Because
I do.
we know how long Brez can go, Ron.
Yep.
I do, and I think that's in his game plan. Paul, he's been in some wars, and he's known for a lot of wars. He's known for pulling ugly without his hand, and side pressure, and all kinds of good stuff. But he does have speed. And I think when he commits to that, if he gets what he needs in the hand, we might see quick rounds.
Let's come over to you, Ron. You've obviously got a lot of experience pulling these guys. How do you see this match going down?
Well, as I said, I pulled Brez twice. Once he stopped. I got the win, but I questioned because it barely touched the pad, and I feared that if he did get the call that he stopped me, he was going to bring me back. There was just something about hitting him and his power. And then the second time, I got the advantage of him, didn't take him as far. He held on forever and just burned the shit out of me till I could hold no more. So, and I know Brez's pedigree and his style and everything else, stories I've heard, and from personal experience, definitely I'm probably going to say he's the favorite. But all the stuff I heard from Paul, just talk about Paul Talbot.
That we heard,
and
that
what
nobody
I-
else heard because we got the internet signal.
That what, how he's been training and stuff. And because of his wins with the wall and all that and the hammers he has,
Yeah.
Paul doesn't have the social media account. He doesn't have the name recognition. And yeah, according to Paul, he is a little burned because of that. Today's Paul's day to shine. That can be an additive because he wants to prove to everybody that he is that man. And so I think we're in for a real battle, as you would say.
Well, they say that it's the quiet ones you got to watch for. And Paul Tolbert hasn't said a damn thing for 7 years. Now we're going to move on to our next matchup, and it's another amazing one. There's a bit of a theme, actually, a running theme through this card for rematches. Vengeance is the theme of this thing. Lars Råpower Råbacken of Norway. Guy who's had a bit of a turbulent past. The last few, he's won them, he's lost them. He's been in some incredible battles. Today, he's going to need to steel himself to face the wild horse Matt Mask. One of the most dangerous top rollers ever to be produced by Canada. Paul, thoughts on this?
I mean, to me, this is very interesting. But the first thing that jumps into my mind is the first time I saw Matt in the hotel, we were walking to the car, and he was up on the third, fourth floor balcony, leaning over with his shirt off. And I don't think I've seen his upper shoulders look so massive. So I think a lot of times with Matt, you get those ups and downs. I've seen times where he shows up and he's just spitting fire, and other times he looks a little bit drifty or just doesn't look like the same guy. I think the match could get really interesting if Lars can get that flop wrist in there and get a stop. But I got to go with Matt. I think just from the eye test, I think Matt's bringing a really good version. I like his energy too. He got his daughters here with him.
Yep.
That's always an added benefit.
There's a sinister calm around Matt, and he seems to have kept himself away quite a bit. Usually he's right in the thick of the action, but not here, Ron. Do you think that gives us an indication of where his head's at going into this match?
Well, he's got his family with him. That's going to keep him a little quieter. I think Matt has really matured a lot over the last couple of years. He's understood where his energies really need to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, going back to somewhat of what Paul said, I pulled Matt not all that long ago in Dubai. And whatever reasons I can give on my behalf that I wasn't all there, that was probably the strongest and the thickest hand I felt on Matt.
Yeah.
This match is going to come down to, If Lars can stop Matt, which I think is a big challenge, then it could go into a real war. Lars is going to have to stop it. That's what I got to do if I want to ever beat Matt. I don't know if I'll ever get that day again, which is fine. But Lars has that opportunity. Lars is going to have to get in there quick.
Do you think that's his only option, Ron? Because we do know that he's got that sticky King's move. Do you think it's a safer move than trying to just go straight flop? Would you try and put the brakes on with the...
Same deal.
Okay.
He's got to do whatever it takes to stop Matt. Because if Matt's allowed to just go with this one fluent move, that top, and Matt we saw just not too many against Frank. He's not afraid to get in there and do his own flop wrist and push it forever.
Absolutely.
He's not afraid to jeopardize injury. So this can go one of two ways. If Lars can't stop Matt, it's over quick, 3-0. If Lars stops Matt, this could go into a long fought war because Matt is wanting to be on the rise. He's tired, just like we're talking about Paul Talbot. Matt, everybody likes him because he brings so much energy, but Matt knows everybody's judging him because he doesn't get as he should, and barely does he ever. He just brings such a great show, much energy, and so does Lars. It's going to be a great one as well. Every match here today is going to be freaking awesome. You're going to get those words out of me out of every match you talk about. I'm excited to be here and be sitting in that front row. I love competing, but damn, today's going to be fun.
It really is. It really is. There's an energy around. I don't know whether you can see behind us over Anna's voice, but there's an absolutely phenomenal crowd, which she's terrifying. And they're all trying to get in there to watch this series of matches. One of the ones they're going to be most excited about is their very own beast, Travis Bage, and trying to make a comeback against the biggest, most horrible opposition that North America may be able to throw at him in the form of the gorilla, Corey West, who is looking massive here. This is an acid test for Travis. You always have that question, where's his head at? Where do you think it's at coming into this, Paul?
Man, it's hard to say because Travis is definitely like...
it's like the poison chalice to answer this one all the time, isn't it?
He's like an energy guy, right? Like he manifests his own energy. He rides off his own energy. I wonder how the last showing against Kalininchenko is sitting in his mind. I know it's left versus right. That's a whole different animal. And Travis's wheelhouse is in his left. I got to believe he's confident after pulling Derek Smith. But Corey is not Derek Smith. They're two different animals. And from what I'm understanding, talking to Corey and Michael, Corey's in good shape. He battled some injuries and things like that. He's healthy now. And he's pot committed fully to arm wrestling, which is a scary thought from a 400-pound man that has the raw power that he does. So this one is going to be super interesting. I think if Travis is to win it, Travis needs to out-arm wrestle him before the go and at the go. And then matches have to be quick. He has to take control in the setup.
So it's got to be a fast finish.
He has to set up. He has to play the mind games in the setup and finish quick. I think if Corey can weather that storm and he can really stay calm up there and not let Travis have what he needs, I think it's probably Corey's to lose.
Okay, just I'm gonna break off for a minute to say I heard Anna again there. If she gets close, you let me know, okay? Because I've got my trainers on and I left the car running. Ron, do you agree? Does he have to finish this one fast because Corey's got some size behind him? So you would not want that man in the top of the bunk bed.
I learned 2 years ago you don't stop Corey in a losing position and think you're going to win. All right, that cost me like a year of rehab of my bicep. Corey is a freaking gorilla. That's why they call him a gorilla. I've talked to Corey a little bit today, told him what he needs to expect from Travis, that Travis is going to play, as Paul said, he's going to play that mind game right from the start. Travis is probably one of the best guys to manipulate the start and talk to the refs and get what he wants. And Corey came back with, I love it. I hope he talks to me a lot because that just pisses me off. And so if that pisses Corey off,
probably guarantee that's going to happen.
Travis is going to have to, I think, get in a good offensive position immediately. He doesn't have to flash him. He's got to get it to where Corey can burn out. If he can't get out of Corey's massive hand, it's going to be trouble. Corey has one big thing going for him. He trains with Michael Todd. All right, you got two monsters working in the same house. As what is it, iron sharpens iron or whatever. So they got a great team, and Mike has one of the best gyms around to train in.
And another point there. Sorry, I got a tickly cough today, guys, which may be interesting when I get going in there, but we'll work through it. But Corey has his family here. I met myself and James were in the bar last night, and we met his mum and dad. Have you met his mum and dad yet?
No, I haven't.
I mean, his dad is, like a guy that you've literally never met before in your life, and if he walked out of the bathroom in your hotel room, you'd be okay with it. He's like the most endearing guy of all time. And he's also got like a facial hair, a little bit like, something biblical, and that comforts me. And last night we were talking for a few minutes at the bar, and I may book a holiday with that guy. He's fucking awesome. There is no doubt about it. We talked for like a minute. I know probably as much about that man as anybody does. He is the most open fella ever. Amazing guy, and I can only think from what he told me just how proud he is of his boy. I think Travis Bage is going to have to work very, very hard to pin Corey West 3 times quickly in front of his family. His mum and dad are beaming with pride, telling me that he's from Perry, Arkansas, giving all the backstory, how he got into this, what he's done in his life to get to this point. And in many ways, it's certainly an arguable point, but you could say this is the battle for the number 1 in North America at the weight class.
He's never lost in front of his parents.
He's never lost in front of his mum and dad. Oh, that's a scary stat if you're Travis Bage. And let's move on. We've only got about 5 minutes left and we've got to drop off here. Quick looks at these matches, guys. I'd love to talk in more detail, but Giannis Allen's Justin Bishop in an absolutely supercharged atmosphere here is going to be ridiculous. Everything America exudes out of Justin Bishop's beard, and he is facing Giannis Allen's, who's got an exemplary record on him, incredible record, 7-1 in pins, I believe, total clean out in wins, in match tournament wins. So you could say that Justin Bishop is the underdog, has it all to do, but this is not the Giannis Allen's that we've seen before. He said in his own words, I'm not going to tell you I'm at my best. I have battled some injuries, whereas Justin, speaking to him, looks like he has come here with a very professional approach. Who you got?
I mean, I think when you look at those things, like we're talking the same intangibles you're talking about with Corey. Justin's got his whole family here. He's got, he wears the American pride like anybody else, probably more. He is kind of that American hero type guy.
Yes, he is.
And I think he's going to be drawn from that. This is a match Justin wanted. If you talk about 7 pins to 1, but a guy still won that match, still won that rematch, that means there's something there.
Keeps him awake at night.
There's a point to prove, but then also a belief that it can go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think that the intangibles here, this home crowd, this energy, the team, the camaraderie and everything, I think is really going to elevate Justin, along with other people too. I think we're going to see a lot of guys that may in other situations let rounds go, are going to fight to the death. And I think Justin is one of those dudes, and I think it's his day.
Let's move on to a very good friend of yours, mate, who's in our co-main event today. John Brezina, the perfect storm, unarguably the man, the best to ever put his elbow on a table, and he is facing a terrifyingly dangerous talent in Leonidas Arona, one of the crossover legends that's come into the sport. This guy looks incredible here, really solid, really powerful, and incredibly hungry. Do you think John has enough left in the tank, desire-wise as well as physically, to get the job done here?
Well, I sat next to Leonidas yesterday. Yes, he is freaking huge.
He
All
really
right.
is.
I mean, he has muscles coming where I don't have muscles coming. Yeah, it's going to come down to, as you said, John's going to have it in the tank. At an older age, it is probably our biggest nemesis, is that motivation. We've been there. John has been there. John has done that. So what can he bring?
Yeah.
John says he's bringing in a different version. He's going to bring in a more aggressive version.
Yeah.
I think John has definitely the experience to be there. Leonidas has the endurance.
Mm-hmm.
So John doesn't have to beat him fast. He just has to beat him efficiently. John's going to definitely probably have the hand control, wrist control, just by knowing him for so many years of arm wrestling. And John's going to have to get in a good position immediately and hold out. But the matches cannot go on very, very long. If John gets in a long match, every match that John goes longer goes to Leonidas' favor. But I'm still going to pick John to win this one, maybe 3-1, 3-0.
Now, another stupidly exciting match on this card. The young gun, the rising star, Chance Shaw, Floridian. We're right here in Florida. He called out No Limits Devin Laratt. Was that a bad move?
It depends on how you're looking at it, right? I mean, it's not a bad move for us as fans, right? We could see Devin. Devin's here anyway. Why not see him arm wrestle and do some antics with some gummy bears and stuff? I mean,
he did get a free bag of gummy bears.
Yeah, I think it's good for us. I don't know if it was good for Chance. I think if Chance pulls one round out, it's good. And I was just talking to him right before we came out here. And I think that there is a chance that depending on how hard Devin goes or doesn't go in that setup, Chance could steal a round, and that's a win for him. But I just don't see it going the distance and Devin allowing any more rope than that, if even that rope.
Yeah.
But I think also it's a great augmentation to this card. Fans get to see Devin announce and everything.
Unexpected bonus late.
They want to see him pull.
Yeah.
And look, let's be serious. Chance is no pushover at all, by any means. And we're talking about a 235-pound version of Devin who has been on a layoff and is sore now just from getting back to training. So anything can happen.
So we're running out of time. We got to go to our main event. It is Alex Kodecha, the giant pole. And he has come in big and he is beaming with confidence. He's pulling the X factor that is Jerry Cadorette. You know Jerry inside out, mate. You've pulled this guy so many times. He is hard to get around. Does Alex Kodecha have the size? Does he have the technical fluidity to deal with this man?
Well, you better have the technical fluidity. Fluidity, big words. Don't use those on a Saturday morning. Kodecha is very intimidating. He walks through this building and it's like, holy shit.
I felt a minute ago, but it was actually
I got a picture with him and Matt yesterday, and I've never felt so small.
Yeah, he's
But I was sort of worried on that behalf on Jerry, but I watched Jerry and him give each other shit, and Jerry went up and bumped against him. You know what? There's a height difference.
Yep.
There's not a size difference. Jerry's fucking big.
Yeah, he's solid.
So
looks actually smaller as well. Looks, in some ways, Jerry looks, I don't want to say athletic, because I think I'd take him in an egg and spoon race if it's up a hill, but he looks athletic. He looks better.
He's leaner.
Yes.
Like the guy
and healthier.
He's got like abs.
Yeah, and he looks healthy.
You know what that does to a guy when he puts a whole bunch of muscle on and leads out? It makes him look heavy.
Yeah, it does.
And I think that's what we're looking at.
Let's walk a scenario before we shut this thing. If Jerry Cadorette gets the position, if he gets that press, can Alex Kodecha stop it and pull through it? Can he work from there? So many guys haven't. Is he big enough? Is he strong enough to work through the press?
No, I think he runs out of table because of his lever. Jerry comes in. He's only got so much room to run backwards on the pad. Jerry can stay in there like this long enough. He'll burn him out. Kodecha to beat Jerry is going to have to make sure Jerry gets lined up on the outside of his shoulder. His first move is going to have to get Jerry past his shoulder. So it's going to come down to that very first split second. The only time I really beat Jerry, we practiced for months because I was supposed to have a super match. I practiced with the great Dave Randall, and that's all we practiced. Make sure you get Jerry to the outside. Went to Mohegan Sun. Jerry was my match before Marcio and John, which could not have worked better. I made sure Jerry was on the outside. Guess what? I got to win. Now, this is a different Jerry yet. This is a bigger, better one. This Jerry would have beat me then. But yeah, Kodecha's going to have to get him past his shoulder. If Jerry gets in here like this, Jerry wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're 40 minutes away from showtime. We got to shut this thing down, get in there and get ready. Watch for this man today. He's going for Rustam Bawayev for the second time. So many great matches we didn't have time to talk about. Todd Zilla, Todd Hutchins versus Yevgeny Prudnik. Craig Touye, Tom Holland. Unbelievable card. If you don't have the pay-per-view, what is your problem? Get it right now. Link will be in the description. CORESPORTS website. Get over there, find it, buy it. Let's go. And we will see you in 45 minutes.
Are some good matches coming up.
Okay, we're not. It's not only we're not live, we're not off.
This is one I'd like to be in the audience for. You know what I mean? To like really take it in.
It's one I wouldn't like to be in a 3-suit for. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Dark wearing a 3-piece.
Yeah. Oh,